All right, time for us to go viral. On Sunday, Mike Evans found the end zone and busted out LeBron's signature celebration. LeBron took to Twitter and said, quote, "That's so fire. Keep going, low bro, young king." Nick, nice to see some NBA moves crossing over.
So here's the thing. More NFL guys have now done this than LeBron's done it total combined in his career. He's only done it like 2 or 3 times, and then it's now become more of an NFL celebration.
But did he do it first?
He was the first guy I ever saw do it. He did it with the Miami Heat a couple times, I think once with the Cavs, but it wasn't like something he regularly did, but NFL guys have taken it and run with it.
Yeah, and he was in L.A. That's where the king is now.
Oh.
So Tampa Bay was in L.A.
Oh.
I'm in the home of the king. Let's give it up for the king.
I didn't even think about that, see? Look at you going next level with the celebration.
Oh, yeah, that's me, next level analytics.
Next level analytics, Chris Carter, 4th career.
Stories to start your morning.
School's overrated, man.
Monday Night Football.
I mean, that's why I quit. Well, they
kicked you out.
I was going to quit,
Semantics, right? See, semantics. Steelers beat the Bengals 27-3 to get their first win of the season. James Conner had 125 yards from scrimmage. And Big Ben's replacement, Mason Rudolph, had a solid night, 2 touchdowns while completing 86% of his passes. Nick, what'd you make of the game last night?
The game ended when the Bengals had a chance early. Steelers turned the ball over, but the Bengals can't turn that into 7. They only get 3. Then the Bengals have the ball in Pittsburgh red zone, and all of a sudden there is an Andy Dalton strip sack, one of many times Andy Dalton was under duress, and it was off and running for Pittsburgh from there. What surprised me the most was this, see? Mason Rudolph was the best quarterback on the field last night by far. He had more help, he had more protection.
There's no doubt about that.
But the Bengals are in the running to be the 2nd worst team in the NFL this year.
Andy Dalton started the game as a brunette. Man, they had so much intensity on him, he turned into a redhead during the game. Oh, man, that offensive line with the Bengals.
Fact check.
The coach said they were supposed to win those one-on-one matchups, but this was an ugly, ugly football game. Pittsburgh, I don't know what they would do if they would have lost this game and gone to 0-4.
They'd have been regretting trading that 1st-round pick for Minka Fitzpatrick. I'll tell you that much if they had lost this game.
Probably take El Belva. On to the Cowboys. Their starting left tackle, Tyron Smith, suffered a high ankle sprain against the Saints on Sunday. He's reportedly week to week, which is better news than we originally thought. See, how much will this injury impact both Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott?
It will affect them. We have not seen this offense be effective, and Tyron has not shown that when he's hurt, he's a really good player. When he's injured before, his performance went down. What I'm worried about, though, is his right ankle, and that's his push ankle being a left tackle. He might take longer to come back because playing that left, you got to push off that front foot to be able to get out to those elite athletes that are rushing the passer. So that's something, because of which ankle it is and the position that he's playing, that it might take a little more time to return because you can't hide him. He's not an interior offensive lineman. Center and the guards, you can hide if they have ankle sprains, not those tackles.
All right, I'm going to yield my time to you. I got a quick question. Analytical and injury expert, Chris Carter. If he's a skill position guy, high ankle sprain, you can be out a month.
Yes.
For an offensive lineman, can he play this week, just compromised? Or
no, he can't play this week. His leg, they would tape it up almost like he's got a cast on. The earliest he'll be able to play, the earliest I've seen high ankle sprains play is 2 to 3 weeks, and you're still compromised.
So you've got those edge rushers from Green Bay with your backup left tackle potentially for Dallas. That could be enormous. That could be worse than
just a little tidbit for Ket. I came back from a high ankle sprain in 10 days on the Giants, 100 yards in the first half.
Okay, take that, Giants.
There you go.
Yeah, Ket.
Raiders linebacker Vontaze Burfict has been suspended for the rest of the season after the helmet-to-helmet hit on Jack Doyle this past weekend. The league cited Burfict's repeated violations of the unnecessary roughness rules in handing out the longest suspension ever for an on-field incident. Nick, what'd you make of this?
The league did the right thing. I applaud them. Now, maybe this gets knocked down. It might even get halved in the appeal process. But Vontaze Burfict, of how many players in the league? 1,600?
1,600.
He's the single most dangerous. He's the one that has shown the least regard for his fellow athlete. We talk all the time that guys might want to knock other people out of games in the moment, but not knock them out, but you're just trying to inflict punishment. Vontaze Burfict is actually trying to hurt people, and he has shown that since Arizona State to right now.
Yeah, the only thing I disagree with, I think we've seen the last of him. I don't believe an appeal is going to overturn this one. I believe they have warned him enough. There is no player in the history of our new collective bargaining agreement that they have spent more resources personally going to talk to, trying to help him save money for his family, telling him they don't want to take away his money. He has refused to alter his style of play. There's maybe 1 to 3 players like him left in the league. They're weeding themselves out. He's going to be the first player ever suspended indefinitely on the field. We've had players off the field conduct, but never a player on the field. He is going to be the first. I would be shocked and disappointed if this overturned. I never want to see him on the NFL field ever again.
John Gruden made him a captain.
Don't look now, but the Browns are tied for first place in the AFC North. That after a big win Sunday over division rival Baltimore. Baker Mayfield couldn't resist a chance to call out his naysayers, said that he wants everyone who doubted Cleveland to have the same energy now that they won a tough game. His head coach, Freddie Kitchens, tried to temper that sentiment just a little.
But I do know this, if you just keep your head down and keep working, usually good things happen. You turn the corner. I think these guys have done a good job of that, staying focused on inside of our locker room, because that's truly the only thing that matters is inside of our locker room. They've done a good job of that, of just trying to get better. We're going to try to get better off of this game too. This is one game. Just like last week, it was just one game. This is one game. We've got, I don't know how many more, 12 more to go.
He did the math well.
Good job, Freddie.
Great. Way to know how many games do you have. Nick, you agree that the Browns have turned a corner?
No, and while they're still my pick to win their division, this was my concern Friday. I said Friday that the Browns got to be careful, that obviously they got to win this game, but if they win it, don't ignore in victory what you wouldn't in defeat, and don't just because you won a game ignore the things that led to the previous defeats. And if all of a sudden you think that the mismanagement, the poor play by the offensive line, Baker not playing well until the 4th game of the year, all gets erased because you won the biggest game of your season thus far, that can be dangerous. That can lead to a letdown loss this upcoming week against San Francisco. And so, no, I think the Browns are too young from a coaching staff, from a quarterback, from a skill position player standpoint to turn a corner, a significant corner in 1 week. I do think they stayed afloat. I do think they steadied the ship to a degree where now they have the opportunity over the next month to turn that corner. But if you look at, well, all our issues are now solved, and I think Freddie tried to correct it at the back end where he said it's just one game, we have to treat it just like one game. But you can't look at one great win as something that erases the reasons you had 2 bad losses in the previous 3 weeks and 1 mediocre win. This was their first good game of the season. The reasons for that don't go away just because you won.
No, this is a young team that still lost a lot of games. To think that they have it figured out, and I hope that Baker starts listening to the coach, because really, when you're on a professional team, only thing that really does matter is what's in the locker room. And that's what Baker should start talking about, how the guys are feeling in the locker room. They went to the East Coast, went to Baltimore, arch rivalry with them. They won that game. Now they got to go all the way back out north, go to San Francisco, and they play a San Francisco team. They got 5 first-round picks on that defensive line. That offensive line is not out of the woods. They're getting ready to face good defensive line after good defensive line. And San Francisco's rested coming off a bye. Then they got Seattle. Then they got the bye. Then they go to New England. New England's coming off a bye because they got the Jets the week before that. So,
a de facto bye.
No, they are not out the woods. It is survival in the NFL every single week, and they have to build this momentum that they were able, from the momentum they captured in Baltimore, because that was a huge win. But we've seen in this league, it fluctuates week to week. The mature teams are able to get through the hype, concentrate on what they're doing, and try to get better. The Browns need to get better up front. They need to continue running the ball and take advantage of a San Francisco secondary that I believe can be had. So it's a good opportunity for them.
And the other element is, and this is where it might do Baker some good to actually look at the schedule, is the Browns are not one of these teams that you expected to or had to get out to a white-hot start. What they need to do is stay afloat until the end of the season. The final 7 games of the year, they play teams that are a combined 3, 16, and 1. You only need to be 4 and 5 through 9 games. 5 and 4 would be great, because where you can really start piling up wins is in that final 7 weeks where you play Cincinnati twice, you play Arizona, you play Miami, you play Pittsburgh twice. Your toughest game is home against Baltimore team you just beat. But if you, where I would criticize, even though he's not going to change, Baker's comment about keep the same energy, people will keep the same energy because you guys are going to go through another 1 and 2 stretch, maybe these next 3 games. And so recognize that you guys are in position to where you could, if you stay even-keeled, peak at the end of the year, but it does not get easier. Chris listed it. San Francisco, Seattle, New England are their next 3 games. If they can go 1 and 2 there and be 3 and 4, they're fine. But 1 and 2 is not going to quiet the haters. Right. It's not going to keep people from throwing you in the trash, as Baker talks about.
All right, let's move on.